Hello students in 7th grade. Today we are going to complete our story about the man at the fountain with the second paragraph. So let's start. Now let's read the second paragraph and discuss its idea by making questions and answers. Let's start. Buses with dusty windows were cruising around the square. They walked their way through the never-ending flow of traffic. So here we have a description of the buses. Buses with what? With dusty windows. Look at the pictures. We have here the buses and look at the windows of these buses. They are with dusty windows. Yes. They wove their way through the never-ending flow of traffic. Now and again, one stopped under the trees. One of these buses stopped under the trees. Its engine hummed noisily. When it stopped, the engine of these buses hummed noisily as the doors hissed open. Blue-gray fumes, these fumes from these buses rose into the air. Their oily smell. The pronoun there refers to the buses, yes. Oily smell mixed with the scent of roses that drifted from the flower seller's stall. So here we have two smells mixed together. The oily smell and this smell from the buses, yes, it mixed with the scent of roses. Yes, the scent, we mean about it the smell of roses which drifted from the flower seller's stall. Waiting passengers pushed their way onto the bus while others left it and hurried away across the square. Question number 1. Describe the buses in the city. Look at the first line. Buses with what? With dusty windows were cruising there around the square. Number 2. What is the similar meaning of scent? As we said, scent means smell. The next paragraph. Nobody was taking any notice of the thief, but Philip did not stop watching him. So, still nobody was taking any notice. Still nobody saw the thief, but Philip did. He was difficult to recognize. He refers to the thief. Excellent. He was difficult to recognize. Why? Because he did not look exactly like his pictures. Because he was in disguise. What do we mean about disguise? We mean that he didn't look exactly like his picture. He was hidden. But Philip knew it was him. The police were looking for this man all over the city, and now here he was just a few meters from the newspaper stand. So, question number 1. Was anyone taking any notice of the thief? No. Yes. Nobody was taking any notice of the thief. The thief was difficult to recognize. Why? Because he didn't look exactly like his pictures. 3. The pronoun him, line 1, refers to, this is line 1 and this is the pronoun him. This pronoun refers to the thief. Excellent. Let's complete the story. He was standing at the fountain in the middle of the square. He refers to the thief, the man. Where was the man standing? He was standing at the fountain in the middle of the square. He was almost hidden by what? By a group of tourists with clicking cameras. What were the tourists doing? They were clicking cameras and they chatted and laughed as they took their photos. So they refers to the tourists. They chatted and laughed. Okay, while they were taking the photos of the fountain. The square was famous for the fountain. Travelers to the city always took photos of the fountain with its beautiful statues and cascades of tinkling water. Okay, so here we have a description of the fountain. This fountain has statues and cascades of tickling water. It was made from what? The fountain was made from white marble that glistened like Arctic ice. So, it was made from the white marble. And it had 4 corners, and these corners were huge with leaping fish. Water spurted from their gaping mouths and splashed into the pool. So the water of the fountain from the fish spurted, flew out from the gaping mouths and splashed into the pool. In the center of the pool, 2 powerful galloping horses were pulling. Look, here we have galloping horses. 2 galloping horses were pulling what? A magnificent chariot that was driven by a warrior of ancient times. So, the pronoun they, line 2, refers to, here we have the pronoun they refers to the tourists, yes, a group of tourists. Number 2, the travelers always took photos of the fountain. Why? Explain. Because the square was famous for the fountain, yes. According to the text, give 3 descriptions of the fountain. We said that here in this paragraph we have lots of descriptions of the fountain. Give me 3 descriptions of it. It was made of marble that glistened like Arctic ice. Yes. It had 4 corners, and these corners were huge with leaping fish. Yes, and the water spurted from their gaping mouths and splashed into the pool. What does the word spurt mean? It means to flow out. Yes. The last one, the word magnificent, means wonderful. The last thing that we're going to talk about today is this paragraph. The thief was mingling with the tourists who were throwing seeds to the pigeons and photographing the elegant buildings around the square. The thief was hidden with the tourists, okay? Who were? Also here we have the idea about what were the tourists doing. They were throwing seeds to what? To the pigeons and photographing. They taking photos, the tourists taking photos for the elegant buildings around the square. Philip thought about getting closer. He took a few steps forward. Hey, Philip heard his cousin's voice. Aren't we going to the match? I'll finish here soon. Philip nodded and looked back at the man who was sliding a small camera from his pocket. He took several photos of the square. While Philip was watching, he realized that one building particularly interested the thief. Think about the building that interested the thief. What do you think? Yes, let's complete. It had 6 white columns at the front. Here we have a description of the building that interested the thief. This building had 6 white columns at the front. Broad steps led up to the massive wooden doors, and a blue and gold flag was flying above the vast entrance. It was certainly a beautiful building and a good one to photograph. So this building was amazing. It used to belong to a duke. Now it was the city bank. So before it used to belong to a duke, but now it was the city bank. So the building is the bank. This place is interested the thief. What were the tourists doing? Yes, they were throwing seeds to pigeons and taking photos for the elegant buildings. What did Philip think about? He thought about getting closer, so he took a few steps forward. Describe the bank, the building, the bank. Yes, as we said, it had 6 white columns with the massive wooden doors, and a blue and a gold flag was flying above the vast entrance. So, in our lesson today, we talked about 4 important ideas. We described the buses in the city. We talked about the reason of why was the thief difficult to recognize. We talked about the description of the fountain. And we described the building that interested the thief, and we said that it was the bank. Write the questions on your notebooks and be ready for the next class. Goodbye.